Virgo, welcome into your reading. This is going to be a general message for anyone who relates or connects to the Virgo energy, the Virgo archetype. So what we do here is we start off with some oracle cards and just to get a generalized sense of what we're dealing with today. And then we go into the tarot and we go into more specifics and more details. So as the reading moves along, you'll start to see more cards on the table and you'll start to get more information about your current situation. Also, I put out the shorts for each individual sign not too long ago, and in your specific short, it did catch my attention. It did feel as though your energy was non-existent, and so that's what made me want to come on today to do your reading next. Okay, so we'll see what we're dealing with. It felt really dark, really absent, if that makes sense. And as I was channeling your energy and connecting to you today, I did get a vision of a tunnel, and it felt as though you were showing up for something that was big, right? Like very important. Like you have to brace yourself. You have to prepare yourself to show up for this thing. But you're showing up. So it did feel as though the Virgo was coming out of nowhere, like popping out of nowhere, showing face, arriving somewhere. And it's like it was time. There's a timing factor to this situation. People may have been doubting whether or not you were going to follow through. People were looking for you or not sure if, like I said, if you were going to show up or not. And it does seem as though you have at least one other person on your side that is sort of motivating you or there for moral support or something like that. But again, I can't pinpoint it I can pinpoint it. I just can't articulate the feeling very well. It feels as though you have to show up for something. You arrive after a long time of not being there or doubting whether or not you were going to go, but you make it. You show up anyway. And it is an overwhelming, intimidating, nervous, anxious moment for you to show up and do this thing. Okay, so for you, it's big. It's a big situation. And you were doubting whether or not you even wanted to do it. So I don't know what this is about. The tunnel to me just signifies, you're going into another realm, from one place to the next. But as you go through, it's in the dark, right? You don't really know what to expect when it comes to the journey from one place to the next. Let's get an oracle card from the celestial bodies. This is a astrology, numerology, oracle deck. It's coming through for the Virgo, please. Grand Cross. Okay, you have Venus at the bottom. Oh no, I didn't prepare for what to do with the deck when I was done with it. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is a big moment for you, It's like everything has led up to this moment, and it may feel really challenging. It may feel like you don't know if you have what it takes to do this thing, but everything is coming from all around you, right? Like the things that you've been through, your life up until now, or even the situation that you've been in recently. It's like when you think of the beginning till now, you can see how it just, everything, what is the word? Like, why am I looking for this word? Everything just built up to this peak moment is what I'm trying to say. Now with the Grand Cross, I mean, these are nothing but squares, right? That lead to this energy along with oppositions. So even though a Grand Cross, especially if like you're born with one in your birth chart, it does denote an energy of like purpose, like grand purpose, big purpose, but not without sacrifice, not without challenge, and for sure not without learned lessons. And so it feels as though you're embarking on something big right now where you are unsure of yourself a little bit, right? And you know that this journey you're about to take is going to test your limits. It's going to maybe, I don't know, like the uncertainty of it. It's like you don't know where you're going, but you have to show up. Like you have no choice. We're pulling from the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck. What else for the Virgo, please? God of the arts, the artist within you is about to emerge. I've had this deck for many, many, many years. It's one of my first Oracle decks. So when this card comes out, for me specifically, I'm not saying that this is for everyone who owns this deck, but for me specifically, we're dealing with someone who is a little manipulating, a little secretive, okay? Not all of the information is told. There's a lot being withheld. It feels, it's very seven of swords for me when I get this card. All right, we're pulling from the Vintage Oracle Wisdom Oracle now. Vintage Wisdom Oracle, sorry. You have a strategy. And maybe that's why you had to wait so long. Maybe that's why you had to like go quiet and not really inform people of your situation and what you decided, what you're going to do, because you needed to develop your strategy of how to approach this and how to follow through with it. And so it's taking a lot out of you. Obviously, it's taking all of your courage, bravery, heart here to do this thing. It does feel very like pressured, or you have a lot on your shoulders, like a lot of responsibility. And I mean, when don't you, right? Like, when don't you lead this type of life where you carry the weight of the world, you know? You think that you have to save everyone and save yourself, and it's that self-sacrificing energy that in turn creates a person who can have a lot of resentment, who is unsatisfied, who feels let down by the world, let down by the people you love. The standards are so high here with the Virgo energy, the Virgo placements, that nobody can really meet those standards. Therefore, no one is perfect. No one's good enough. Everybody has their faults, right? And you can see those faults so clearly. And it's also very a projection, as we know, you know, if anybody is dealing with the Virgo, right? Like it's a reflection of the personal, individual insecurity. So when you're dealing with the Virgo who's very critical, who is not content, who has a lot to say about how something should be done, whatever, you know, I mean, most of it is coming from an internal place of insecurity and dissatisfaction of oneself, right? And I'm not saying this to be mean, and I'm sure it's maybe triggering somebody, I hope not, but if you are self-aware enough, then you know, right, that this is true. And so it's extremely difficult to be around a Virgo, especially in an intimate relationship or a partnership or something like that, because, you know, they're never satisfied. And the longer the relationship, the longer the partnership, the more resentment occurs and dissatisfaction. So yeah, the Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and your personal energy here. I love the King of Pentacles for sure. This is telling me that you've prepared and you have the resources, the tools, the money, the foundation, even the business intellect or the common sense to approach this big situation, this important situation that you're about to embark on. You're keeping this to yourself though, all right? You're not disclosing, you're not being open, and maybe that's why you're coming through a little manipulating. It's very much this like that I don't know, that approach that you can sometimes have where it's super focused, like laser focused on something. It feels also like, what is this? Like the back and forth of wanting to be 10 steps ahead of your opponent in some way and looking at their steps, like every move they make. It's a lot of observation, you know. There's a need to be creative with this situation, like not approach it the way you normally would, or not approach it the way anybody else would, not approach it the way society expects you to. There is something odd, there is something different about how you're handling this, and that is very unexpected, it feels like. And it's a risk, okay? It's a risk for you to take to handle this thing differently than what you're expected to do is a risk, because you don't know if it's going to pay off or not. So you may be doing something that's never been done before that you wouldn't dare do, or, you know, maybe this thing is like the external world is not, how can I say, is influencing you differently, like telling you like, no, don't do that. But there's something about it that to you, for you in your specific situation, you think it's good for you. The Five of Swords here is also, this is the yucky energy, you know, of the sabotaging. This is the energy of burning bridges and just coming off extremely selfish and not allowing anybody to help you, or maybe you're not helping somebody in need. I don't know. But it's like, how can I say, like, I don't care how you feel, like the Virgo, right, is saying, I don't care how you feel about what I'm doing it anyway, even though this may hurt somebody else or sabotage relationships in some way. But it feels very much like the detachment and the insensitivity that you have is like, it's, how can I say, people do not expect that, right? Like your coldness that you're coming through with, it feels like some people may be taking that personal. What's in the environment? All right, you have the Three of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. There's that Five of Pentacles that I picked up on in your, the little reading I did, the short. One more for the environment. If you feel like you don't have anyone in your corner, it's because you're pushing them away, okay? And you know that. And I don't know if you have this thing where it's like, okay, the more I push away, it's just to see who stays. But if that's what you're doing, then you need to revisit that tactic and that approach, because that's not very adult-like. That is coming from a place of trauma and a defense mechanism. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, you're totally like just taking a look at your friendships, the people who are in your life, and just rethinking these partnerships and these relationships. It does make me feel like, you know, you don't trust somebody. You don't know what their true intentions are, you know, like why they're around, or why, because you're a King of Pentacles, like, do you think that, you know, people are going to use you or something like that? And so it's almost as though at this point, before you're at, it's like you don't really care who you lose in this process. If you have doubts about someone, or if you have to second guess someone, oh well, right? Like, you have more important things to worry about than pleasing everyone, which is in a sense really good. And I'm really glad to see that if you're not really putting so much effort on being of service and pleasing people right now, because you're worried or you're consumed about your own personal situation here. I want to get some information. Let's see what this Grand Cross is. Get some more information about that. I'm sure you know what it is by now, but let's see. Yeah, like I said, it feels like just a whole bunch of obstacles, you know, like you're trying to get the pentacle. You're trying to create an opportunity. You're focused on something specific, but it's not easy. It's not smooth. What's the pentacle? There's the King of Pentacles again. Wherever it is that you're going, the path to get there, the road to get there is filled with obstacles. You're at a time of life where it's just that way. Sometimes that's how things are, right? And everybody goes through that. We all go through that in one way or another. We all go through that at some point in our life. Sometimes it's, you know, some of us go through those moments more often than others, but it doesn't mean that we don't go through it. So whatever's happening, it's like accepting the fact that things are just not easy right now. And the way life works, it's like a pendulum, right? The ups and downs of it. You won't be in this state forever. Now, the only time that people, their lives feel like it's just one constant challenge is when they go against the grain, is when they don't know how to flow with these ups and downs, is when they have so much control and the need to control the outcome, the need to control others, you know, when they can't let it just rest, when they can't accept things the way they are and the results, when they don't accept failure and see failure as a blessing instead of a negative, right? Like all of these different situations, when humans don't grow from behaviors and patterns that keep them in these endless cycles of struggle, okay, that's when you see these constant struggles. Other than that, if you are open-minded, self-aware, on an ascension journey, learning your lessons, growing from those experiences, understanding, you know, that life is constant change and your ability to flow with it, you've gotten better at that. These challenges and these obstacles come and go, right? So it's something to think about. If you're holding on too tightly to your need to control something or, you know, whatever it is that I just mentioned, right? Like a lot of those things, or maybe just one of those things, I don't know. But if you feel like your life is one constant struggle, which I do think that the Virgo tends to have these types of thoughts, and more often than not, it's a Virgo who's struggling. More often than not, it's a Virgo who's going through some shit, right? And it's like, okay, well, there's a big lesson to learn here. That's just my experience with the Virgo and with the archetype, the character, you know. The ability to hold on so tightly, to stay in a situation that's not beneficial, to be right, to have justice, to seek fairness, right? To get the revenge, to come out on top because of these insecurities. There's just so much, and I'm so sorry I'm going all into it. It's like, maybe somebody needs to hear it. I don't know. But you're embarking on a big thing right now, like an important thing. You have no time to, one, be dealing with the thoughts of others and how you can self-sacrifice for others. And two, no time to be toxic right now, right? Like, focus on this thing that you need to get through. That should be your only focus right now. Your friends, your family, whoever's in your circle, either they're supporting you or they're not, and they can be saved for later, or You don't trust them. You don't see what their motives are, whatever. Okay, forget about that for now, right? Put it to the side. Anything that isn't involving your ability to get through this challenging moment as safely, as healthy, as best as you can is just a distraction. And it may backfire if you put too much attention on anything else that is not making the best out of this situation right now, whatever your situation is. All right, let's go into more detail. Get a 30-day outlook. What's coming through for the Virgo? What do they need to know, expect, anticipate? Yeah, big changes here, as we know already. Five of Pentacles again. It's a perception. Seriously, it's a perception. Like, man, what is the blessing in this situation? And do you even care to see the blessing? If you don't care to see the blessing and you're just super pessimistic, then you shouldn't even be watching videos like this, right? Like, how can you make the best of it? Again, you're not meant to be in this situation forever and ever. But you are meant to learn something. You are meant to go through some shit as well for the sake of your development, your ascension, for the sake of having a better quality of life. I love this High Priestess card. I don't know if you can see it. I hope this is straight. I never know. Okay, these are some big cards here. Man, the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess together. Your sensitivity, not in the sense of like you're sensitive, like you're weak. No, your sensitivity as in your ability to pick up on energy within and without you. The senses, right? As well as the third eye, the all-knowing is strong. Your psychic ability is super strong right now. I would use that to your advantage. There is something about your inner knowing and you communing with your higher self and your emotional body, even here with the Queen of Cups I'm getting. There's a secret. There's the answer within you, obviously, as cliche as that sounds. The answer is here. The answer is within you. It's having the strength, the spiritual and emotional strength to get through this world situation, this change. This change is going to knock you down on your butt somehow. It's going to make you feel like you have nothing. It's going to make you feel like you are nothing. But that's where the power lies in your ability to overcome and to rise up again. Even if you feel like you always have to go through these moments and you're tired of going through them, I understand it. I get that. Those thoughts of why me, poor me, this always happens, right, are just victimization, right? Victim mentality. Just put that to the side for now. It's this, I feel this so strongly, like all of these critical, judgmental, pessimistic, negative thoughts that you can have while in this situation are only making it more challenging and difficult to get through. If you want to have those thoughts, you can have them later. It feels so important for me to say that you cannot be thinking of those things right now. The only thing that you need to be thinking about is getting through this moment, getting through it. That's it. Later, have these thoughts. But right now, that's all you should be thinking about. Try your best to not bring in the victimization. There's something within you that you know better. You know that this is happening for a reason, for a purpose, What else? Four of Pentacles again. You may also come into contact with a woman who can open their arms, open their home, give you some warmth when you are out in the cold. When you are in the dark, they can provide you with some light. They're not the most like affectionate, nurturing, loving, like they love, but it's not very like gushy, right? Like this person is not that type of person, you know. This is a Queen of Cups type, like representing a Cancer archetype. Despite what people say, the Cancer archetype, even though they're the mother, they're not like, they're not welcoming. You know, they're not the ones, right? They're not like a Virgo mom, you know, like these are the ones that are tougher, but you can depend on. You will get the nurturing you need. You will get the healing that is required to bring you back to life this way with this person. That they will require you to also rise up to the challenge, right? They're not going to entertain the victim mentality. They're not going to hold your hand and do it for you, but they will definitely be a pillar of strength to stand by, right? When you have this type of person in your life, you feel safe. So I think it's a great thing that they are here, you know, and if you have this person and they are offering or they're welcoming you in, take it. They have the answers. They have the knowing here with the High Priestess as well as you do, right? So you have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, 2 4s. Yeah, nothing's moving. Nothing is getting better. You're in a standstill. Things are just heavy and dense. You're holding on. You're being a little stubborn. The Four of Cups is still telling me that you're also focusing on that feeling of letdown. There's a lot of stubbornness coming through. What else? You're resisting. This is making me feel very resistant. You're resisting this as much as you can. Knight of Cups. Hierophant. Man, you have big cards, Virgo. Commitments. Commitments are big, especially in the next couple of weeks. Maybe there's someone coming through with a opportunity for like connection, love. Maybe there is an apology that someone has to give or you have to give. Coming from a good place for sure. Yeah, the High Priestess and the Hierophant together. There's a bigger purpose, as we know and we've already established. Who are you? Who are you? What do you stand for? You're not just the mom. You're not just the wife or the husband. You're not just this person who cleans and washes the dishes and pays the bills and drives everyone around. Like, who are you? Internal at your core. What do you represent? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What are you capable of? What place do you have? And if you can't answer that, then this is a good opportunity to dwell on that or think about that. You know, like it feels very much like somebody here needs to be opening their mind to seeing things from a bigger place, a bigger picture, and not be so small-minded. It's a bigger world out there compared to your acre that you live on, right? Or I don't even know if you live in an apartment, right? Like 1,200 square feet, or, you know, like whatever. Like, it's a bigger world than your square of where you live and what consumes your thoughts and your time every day. There's a bigger world, more than your family, more than your job, more than getting up, taking a shower, going to work, cooking, you know, like all the domestic stuff. Like, it feels like somebody has to break open, expand. And this could be a reason why you're feeling the way you're feeling, or you're going through what you're going through, because you're not expanding enough. You're not ascending enough. And maybe you think, like, why do we even have to do that? Well, we come to this world to experience ourselves in a physical way. And while we are here, the idea, I would say, is to experience as much of it. Because once we're gone, who knows what the experience is? All we do know is that we're no longer here physical, right? So, I don't know. It's like, can you push yourself to rise above, to rise higher, to be better, to be more present and purposeful, and take more advantage of your life and make the best of it? Or are you going to play small and stay hidden, stay silent, right? Stay away. At the end of this 30-day period, you have the Emperor, the Queen of Swords, Death, and the Five of Cups. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you're in control of something. Someone is. There's a clarity here around what needs to change and what needs to go. There's a clarity also around what breaks your heart, the darkness within you, the sad, lonely parts of you. Something may change that will make you feel sad and lonely as well. At the end of this time frame, I don't think it's over completely, but you will feel just sort of like neglected a little or forgotten. But it's a really good time to reflect when in the Five of Cups. It's a good time to feel the emotion and face it, and face the sadness, face the hurt, face the pain, the void, whatever it is, to communicate with it and see where it's coming from and understand why it's present, to understand the emotion, to understand the feeling, in order to transmute it and transform it into, again, making the situation better than it is. The Death card comes because it comes for all of us, whether that is literal in the physical or metaphorical in some way. A change, a behavior, a belief system, an essence, a vibe, you know, patterns. The Queen of Swords is like, I see something clearly. I see there's no unseeing this. You may get some answers or some news, some information that is truth, that is on paper, that is undeniable, which changes you completely. Some of you, I'm getting your look is going to change. Some of you, I'm getting like physical body stuff changing with this period of time. But again, there's something about you being in more control of it though. Whereas in the beginning of this reading, you felt like if you were lacking control, that's why the Four of Pentacles is there so prominently, because you're holding on to something really strong, really tight. But it does feel like you start to situate yourself in this thing to be more comfortable with it, to understand it more. Maybe this new thing has like its own process, its own procedure, its own pattern, its own way of doing it, doing something, that you start to be more comfortable with it. You start to acclimate yourself to this process. So you feel more in control, you're stronger, and you can handle it. I do feel fragility physically, okay, with these cards here. I'm also getting belief system, like what your God is, what God represents to you. It does feel as though that's a smart idea. Okay. Especially if you feel alone and like you're ruining relationships and you're acting out. Eventually, when we are in the Five of Swords energy for so long, where we're just being super toxic and whatever, like just not caring about how we're treating people and all of that, we end up in the Five of Pentacles, right? And we end up alone, like an outcast, or, you know, people just don't like you anymore, or whatever. That's neither here or there. The point I'm trying to make is, when we are at that lowest spot, your faith, your connection to God, source, spirit, whatever it is. It could be anything. It could be a rock. It doesn't matter. But the faith to feel like you belong, like you are protected, like you are loved, and above all, like you are anchored to something. When you don't have a strong sense of faith, you feel lost, right? The faith comes in to help anchor you to something, where that's when you feel strong, secure, stable. That's when you feel like, okay, I am holding on. I have a good foundation spiritually, right? Then that leads to feeling like you can do something that you were once scared of because you felt alone. You felt like you couldn't do it, you know, whatever the case is. If you have nothing, and I'm trying to get to like speak to a Virgo who feels like they have no one and they have nothing. The faith, God, source, spirit, universe, nature, mother, father, metaphorical, right? Like spiritual mother, high father, come in handy here. I don't know if that makes sense to you. And I only say that, most of the things I say is because I've done it and I experienced these things and I know the feeling and I know what I did to come out of it, right? Like, it's not as though I'm reading a book about this stuff. Like, this is the things that I had to do. And so when I feel out of place, when I feel scared or alone or whatever, I definitely 100% reach out to my metaphorical spiritual mother, father for help. And it helps for sure. But I don't know. It's a big moment for you. It's a big transformation and change, and your life is not the same. Your life is not how it was before. So how you approach your life now, it cannot be the same type of behavior that you once had before, because those things won't work anymore, right? Like how you got your way, how you navigated tough situations, like things like that. The things you did before just are not going to work this time and anymore, right? There's a different way to be. And I think you know this. I think you're protected whether you understand that or not. I hope that you understand the victim mentality and the need to get out of that, because there's really no room for that type of behavior here. This is too real. It's too real to be acting out. There's a transformation of the ego here as well. Right? Like, because I know that need to win, that need to be right is so strong. And sometimes you're just not right. and that humbleness, you know, that brings you down back to earth, is big, and it does wonders for your ascension, your maturity, your growth, your development. And it's okay, because we all go through it, you know. I don't know what else to say here, Virgo. I hope it all works out for you. If you need a one-on-one reading, reach out. My email address is in the description of the video. If this helped you, press a thumbs up. I wish you all the best. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, and we'll see you on the next one, okay? Bye.